Hi guys, in this week's lesson I want to talk about odd note groupings and how you can use them to make some rhythmic variation in your improvised lines. Most of the time when we're improvising on songs in 4/4, we're grouping everything in groups of 4 or 8 notes. That means that if the song has this feel, then all the melodies will basically just all the time follow the song and the feel of the song like this. And that works really well, of course, because you're following the song and you're playing that, and that's fine. But you can also add some interest by deliberately not doing that. So if I have the same feel for the song like this, I'm tapping my foot, and play groups of 3, it sounds like this. And because it's moving on top of the beat and not really fitting all the time, it sounds more interesting and it sounds more surprising, and you need to resolve it. It's the sort of tension. So in this lesson I'm going to try to give you some ideas on how you can use stuff that you probably already know to make lines that have this aspect in them by composing it. That's one way to work on it. Another way would of course be to just practice using this on a standard. But that gets very complicated very fast, and this is a nice way to start it. You probably know these 4 exercises that I'm gonna show you here already, and I think what I'm more trying to show you is in fact that if you focus on certain things, you're actually practicing playing odd note groupings and cross rhythms while doing your scale exercises, and you might as well be aware of it, or at least try to practice it so that you have that aspect in there as well, because you need it for your improvising. So the first exercise is really simple. It's your standard A minor pentatonic in groups of 3. So that would be something like. And of course that doesn't fit the meter, because you can hear, like, then we would have to play groups of 4, so it's groups of 3. And just try to, when you play it, really keep track of where you are and emphasize the first note of each group. Like that. That can be a really good exercise just to get used to how does it sound to play 3 note groupings on a 4 beat, like this. You'll notice if you play this in 3 that it comes out every bar, by the way. In 3/4 you would use actually even number groupings a lot of the time. But that's another lesson. Another good exercise is to just play your C major scale in triads, because they're also groups of 3. So that would be something like this. And so on. So the triads, actually all 3 note groupings that you all triads and and a lot of other arpeggios you can play in 3 note versions of shell voicing, stuff like that, and they make really really good groupings to use in your improvisation. If you need to come up with something that will move like a 3 note grouping, then triad is a good example. This next one is a group of 5 notes. It's a pentatonic pattern that you might know from Eric Johnson. It sounds like this. And again, keep track of where the beat is. In this case, I have my foot on 1 and 3. I find that useful for medium up-tempo kind of tempos like this, and I also find that that's sort of a very solid way to feel the time. And that's what I'm relating all these patterns to. Another way, because it's hard, we don't really have too many 5 note arpeggios, but you can also take a 4 note arpeggio or a 4 note pattern in general and make a 5 note repeating pattern out of it by just leaving the last spot blank, so you insert a rest at the end of it. That would sound like this. And this is a really good exercise. If you can do this and really feel like, okay, this is where the beat is, and you can hear the same phrase moving on top of the beat and get used to that, and you can still hear where the 1 on the bar is and how the song moves, stuff like that. that's essential for improvising with these kind of structures and this kind of rhythm. So for that, this is a really good exercise. You can also try and check stuff like this out on a modal backing track or in a modal song, and just see how it feels with this phrase if you start moving it around. In a way, what I just played is this A minor arpeggio moved to all parts of the bar. So all possible ways to place it within the 4/4 bar. And that's anyway something you can do with your phrases, that if you play something, you can actually try and repeat it, but try and move it to someplace else. If you listen to Schofield, he'll do that quite often with some of his phrases. And it's a nice way to sort of, how do you say that, evolve the line that you're playing rhythmically into something else. Okay, so these are the examples. Let's try some of the lines. So the first line sounds like this. So in this example, it's a 2-5-1 in the key of C, which, as you can see, and what I'm using is these stacks of fourths. First from the key of C on the D minor, and then from G7 altered. Well, what I'm doing is I'm playing this and this grouping on the D minor, and then the next one I'm starting on the forehand. I move up to this one on the G7, and then back down, and then resolve. If you play groups of 3, then in 2 bars, because this is a 2-bar cadence, resolving on the 3rd bar, you can basically play 5 groups of 3, because you have 16 8 notes, and 15 of them will fit 5 groups of 3. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm starting on the one hand and then playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups, and then resolving. And because I'm starting on the one hand, it actually resolves on the beat. So the next example is using groups of 5, and it sounds like this. So I'm using this trick to make 5-note groupings that I also talked about in example 4, in that I'm using a 4-note group and then just leaving a rest at the end. So this is actually just a sequence of an F major 7 arpeggio, and then an A minor 7 arpeggio on the D minor, and on the G7 altered I'm using a D flat 7 arpeggio. So you get, and then resolving that. The third example sounds like this. So here I'm using shell voicings, because they're also 3-note groupings, so that's easy to make those into 3-note groupings in fact. So I'm playing on the D minor, I'm playing this D minor voicing, F major 7, A minor 7, and then on the G7 altered, I'm first playing a B flat, minor 7, and then a B major 7, shell voicing, and then I resolve that to the 5th of C major 7. So that was 3 examples on how I might write lines with odd note groupings using 5 and 3-note groupings. Of course, the point of this is that you take more the ideas and use them when you're composing your own lines. I think the composing lines with these groupings like this is sort of a way to start hearing these kind of groupings in use and how they work on music, and it's a good way to get that into your playing, or at least it's a good start to get into your playing. If you want to study the examples, then you can go to my website and download a PDF of them there. If you like this lesson, you can of course like it on YouTube, and You can also subscribe to my channel. I try to make a new lesson every week. If you have any comments or suggestions for things I should take up in these videos, then feel free to leave a comment here on the YouTube video, or get in touch with me on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or any of the other social media where I'm active. If you want to get an email notification when I make a new lesson, you can also go to my website and sign up for my newsletter there. So yeah, thank you for watching, and until next week.